Guys, they just released the entire list of everybody that's partied with P. Diddy and did God knows what. And the list is long, I'm telling you, it is extremely long, and some of these names surprise me, and it's heartbreaking. Serena Williams, David Beckham, Victoria Beckham, Will Smith, Jada Pinkett Smith, Chris Brown, Rick Ross, Nicki Minaj, Tyler the Creator, Megan Thee Stallion, Cardi B, Kris Jenner, Lupita Nyong'o, Sean Penn, wow, Tyrese Gibson, Zendaya, Big Sean, Michael B. Jordan, Future, Adele, Steve Harvey, Tiana Taylor, Floyd Mayweather, Dr. Dre, LL Cool J, Swizz Beatz, Lala Anthony, Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, they got Deadpool? Mark Wahlberg, Cara Delevingne, Iggy Azalea, Rihanna, Mariah Carey, Pharrell Williams, Paris Hilton, Justin Bieber, 50 Cent, Kendall and Kylie Jenner, Lil Kim, Drake, Snoop Dogg, Alicia Keys. I'm telling you guys, this list is long. Jay-Z, Beyonce, Jennifer Lopez, Kanye West, Kim Kardashian, Naomi Campbell, Mary J. Blige, Leonardo DiCaprio, Usher, we all knew about Usher, Chris Rock, Nas, Eva Longoria, Pharrell Williams, Lewis Hamilton, or is it Louis Hamilton, Joe Jonas, Sofia Vergara, Shakira, Demi Lovato, John Legend, and Chrissy Teigen. Post Malone, Travis Scott, Ellen DeGeneres, Kevin Hart, Jamie Foxx, Oprah Winfrey, Quincy Jones, DJ Khaled, bro, Habibi, astaghfirullah, Lenny Kravitz, Madonna, A$AP Rocky, Meek Mill, no surprise there, Normani, Miguel, Hailey Bieber, Jaden Smith, Prince Harry, Princess Beatrice of York, and Princess Eugenie of York, and Princess Charlotte Casiraghi of Monaco. Nick Jonas, come on. And you know, I met that guy one day, and he was really, really cool. That's so sad to see. Charlize Theron, Justin Timberlake, Gigi Hadid and Bella Hadid, Zoe Kravitz, Diplo, Offset, Saweetie, Kendrick Lamar, and Lizzo.
I am 30 years old. This has been going on since I was 3 months old. Evidence after evidence after evidence after evidence has been dropped. Do you think that after I stood up and said, hey, can I get a copy of that camera? Do you think that after somebody tied me down and abused me for hours, I got up and said, hey, can somebody give me a copy of that CD? I'm gonna need it for so-and-so because they're not gonna believe me when I try to tell you. That's the whole point. That's what traffickers get a kick out of, is people like you. Because nothing can ever do it for you. You are the problem. There are children being brutalized right now. And if there's a 5-year-old baby that's getting brutalized right now, you're not going to believe that baby until you see another video? That's what was wrong with McMartin Preschool. All of a sudden, those kids were crazy. Somebody, this is for clout. What clout? What clout? Don't be stupid. What money? You see our shit in this car? What money? Come on now. Come on now. So to the ones who, I already got it, and I get it. I got it. Thank you. This is why. This is why. Sue CPS, already tried that. Sue CPS, already tried that. 8 months of a case. They did, and guess who? When it got to certain hands, they threw it out. Why do you think everybody is still wondering what the hell went on at Diddy's? What the hell went on at Steve Harvey's? Why didn't you get the Epstein list? How many victims do you think there are? If it was that fucking easy to walk up to a courthouse and be like, they did it, can you go get them? Don't you think shit would have been moving by now?
Recent allegations against Sean Diddy Combs have led to speculation involving various celebrities, including Steve Harvey. Notably, Saturday Night Live featured a sketch where a character impersonating Harvey joked about attending Diddy's parties. However, there is no credible evidence linking Steve Harvey to any misconduct related to these events.
Soon after, Combs, along with a male and female celebrity, entered the room. Combs aggressively approached the plaintiff with a crazed look in his eyes, grabbed her and said, "You are ready to party." Combs then threw plaintiff toward another male celebrity, who we're calling Celebrity A, who removed plaintiff's clothes as she grew more and more disoriented. Plaintiff was held down by Celebrity A, who AR'd her while Combs and Celebrity B, a female, watched. After the male celebrity finished, Combs then AR'd plaintiff while Celebrity A and Celebrity B watched. Combs attempted to force plaintiff to perform using her mouth, but she resisted by hitting Combs in the neck. He stopped. Plaintiff grabbed her clothes and shoes and left the bedroom, roaming undressed through the house looking for an exit as the party continued. And once outside, plaintiff put her clothes back on and left the scene in the dark. Eventually, plaintiff reached a gas station. The female clerk noticed her distress and allowed her to use the phone. Plaintiff called her father, admitted she had lied about her whereabouts, and asked him to pick her up. After the plaintiff fell into a deep depression, which continues to affect every facet of her life.
If the allegations against Sean Diddy Combs are true, they indicate serious issues that require immediate attention and intervention. Addressing such behavior is crucial for the well-being of all involved and for upholding justice. It's deeply troubling to hear of one individual physically attacking someone who appears helpless and did not consent to such acts. Such actions are reprehensible and must be addressed promptly to ensure justice and support for the victims.
Adria then shared how her story intertwined with Cassie Ventura, who would later become one of Diddy's most high-profile exes and, as many now believe, a major thorn in his side. Back in the day, Adria, her then-boyfriend Anthony, and Cassie were close friends. Cassie, like Anthony, was an aspiring model and entertainer, and both were signed to the same modeling agency at the time. She revealed they all had big dreams of meeting industry heavyweights like Diddy, dreams that, according to Adria, turned into a nightmare they regret forever.
Anthony is signed to Ford Models. Cassie is coming over to our apartment, hanging out. We're all friends. We actually started.
Oh, you was hanging out with Cassie?
Yeah, she would come over our apartment too, because her and Anthony were both signed to Ford Models. Cassie, she wanted to model, but she wanted to sing. She wanted to be an entertainer. And so we all had dreams to meet Diddy. So then
their fateful introduction to Diddy came when Anthony landed an audition for Diddy's Sean John campaign. Excited about the opportunity and knowing Adria was a huge fan of the rapper, Anthony invited her to tag along. Adria recalled the excitement of being in the waiting room that day, but something odd happened that stuck with her. She noticed a model they knew walk in, looking visibly shaken. She and Anthony initially brushed it off, assuming he was just upset about not landing the role. Little did they know that moment would take on a much darker meaning in hindsight.
Fast forward, Anthony ends up getting called to audition for Diddy for the Sean John campaign. So, long story short, we sitting in the waiting room, and one of his homeboys that frequents our apartment comes out of the thing, and he's looking mad, like, shh. And so low-key, me and Anthony laughing. We was like, he must not have booked it. Like, he's salty. Like, we laughing to each other, like, you know. And then they called him.
But the real shocker came when Anthony was finally called in to showcase his talents. Little did they know the talent Diddy had in mind was far from what they expected.
So I'm on my two-way lining up some money for later on. All of a sudden, I just hear, man, fuck that. And the door had flew up, and it was, I'm like, what? He tripping. He was like, man, asked me to suck his. I said, who asked you to suck his? He said, Puffy.
Yes, you heard that right. Rumors about Diddy's long-standing behavior took a new layer of validation with this revelation. For those who believed his alleged exploits extended far beyond the infamous freak-off parties, this was the smoking gun they'd been waiting for. Adria admitted she wasn't entirely caught off guard by Diddy's demand for Anthony. Coming from a background in the adult film industry and working as an exotic dancer at the time, she was familiar with how the powerful and wealthy often operated. To her, it was just another example of how the game worked. Scratch their back and they'll scratch yours.
Because I had been an ex, porn star, and I was currently an exotic dancer. For me, it was regular scheduled programming. Like, it's just what rich people with money do. Like, he tried it. He wanted to see, you know what I mean? To me, it was more funny, but Anthony took more offense. Like, no, like, he got me fucked up.
P. Diddy has seemingly made some friends on the inside, and apparently they're doing his dirty work for him. New reports suggest that fellow Brooklyn inmates have been keeping Diddy's jail cell clean and pristine, even making the bed for him. And that's not all. There are also reports that other inmates are making Diddy snacks and allowing him to use their phone accounts to make his calls. To get a better look at Diddy's life behind bars, we're hearing from former Metropolitan Detention Center Deputy Warden Dr. D. Wayne Hendricks, who says Diddy's star treatment isn't much of a surprise. We're also getting some interesting reports since he's been moved to this area. One of the reports or tips we got is that other inmates are actually making Diddy's bed for him. What can you tell me about that?
Yeah, that's not necessarily uncommon, especially for someone of his celebrity status, especially if he's being housed with individuals that aren't a threat to him or he's not a threat to them. So I'm assuming they probably are maybe doing some favors for him, maybe even cooking food in the microwave. I mean, they don't have microwaves, probably whipping up some type of meals from the commissary dishes. Now, they are to have hot water at a certain temperature where they can cook certain processed foods that they buy in commissary, and they're also charged with having ice machines. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're probably not cooking for him, as well as doing other favors, maybe even washing his clothes. So that's not a surprise.
Why would some of these other inmates basically serve Diddy, cleaning up after him, making him this food, all of that? Do you think it's just because of his clout?
Well, I think maybe for some, some folks are just, you have a different makeup of individuals that are behind bars. And some of them may have idolized his music throughout the years. And some may think at some point maybe he'll do them a favor or solid or make some contacts for them, at some point, during their stay at the detention center. So I'm not surprised by that, because I've also seen other high profile inmates, not necessarily someone as famous as Mr. Combs, but some people with what we call street credibility, whose name is pretty popular in the streets in different communities across the country. And folks would want to just be around that type of energy. So I'm not surprised by that at all.
Reports suggest that Sean Diddy Combs is receiving preferential treatment during his incarceration at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. Sources indicate that he has access to additional showers and other privileges not typically afforded to inmates. Additionally, fellow inmates appear to be starstruck by his presence, which may contribute to his favorable treatment
So
within the
even
facility.
if some of his associates or family is sending money to these individuals that are helping him use these phone calls, all the stuff is easily traced back. So obviously he's not understanding the rules and regulations and of the processes that the agency uses to monitor this type of behavior.
In correctional facilities, inmates are expected to adhere strictly to institutional rules. Violations can result in disciplinary actions, such as loss of privileges, solitary confinement, or, in severe cases, additional charges that may extend their sentences. It's essential for correctional facilities to enforce rules uniformly to maintain order and fairness among the inmate population. Any deviation from standard procedures, especially for high-profile individuals, can undermine the integrity of the justice system.
So there has been another Diddy lawsuit, but this one goes in the opposite direction. In this one, what looks like a celebrity is suing the lawyer who has filed all the lawsuits against Diddy, suing him.
Most of them.
A lot of them.
Yeah.
More than 120 lawsuits.
Eventually
he'll have that
Tony
number.
Busby.
And it's for extortion. Extortion.
Yeah, this is potentially a game changer in the Diddy lawsuit arena, because someone, a prominent, only referring to himself as a prominent figure,
who has some connection to
and
Diddy.
has connection to Diddy, admittedly says this is in their lawsuit, they say this is someone who associated with Diddy, attended his parties, and because of that association, they say that this person received a demand letter from Tony Busby. Now, we spoke to Tony Busby. We were telling you about these demand letters.
In fact, it's in our documentary.
It's in our documentary. He's very open about the fact, Tony Busby is, that he has sent these letters to celebrities who, even if they weren't necessarily engaging in any illegal activity, but if they were at a party and did nothing to stop illegal activity.
If they saw, for example,
Correct.
somebody who is having sex where they're not really competent to make a decision to say yes to it because they're on drugs or alcohol, he feels they are as guilty as the perpetrator who essentially raped that person.
Right.
And he has made that really clear. He made that clear in our documentary and said he's going after him. Well, now somebody got that letter. A celebrity got
and
that
decided
letter.
they weren't going to take it. They just weren't going to just let Tony Busby make this demand of them when they clearly feel they did nothing wrong. So now they are suing Tony Busby for extortion.